The first warning did not come as a whisper. It came as a roar. Across human space, every screen, every device, every satellite, every ship, system went black. Then the alien face appeared. It was scaled, sharp, with eyes that glowed like molten fire. The voice was cold and cruel, echoing in 1,000 languages at once. Humans, you are nothing. You are weak. You are insects playing at war. We, the Zereth Empire, now claim your world. Nearlaw, be destroyed. The message repeated again and again, played on every channel, impossible to escape. Even in the middle of the night, families woke to the sight of that alien face. On Earth, cities froze. People gathered in public squares, watching in silence. As the declaration filled the skies, in space colonies, workers dropped their tools, their faces pale with fear. For the first time in generations, humanity felt something ancient in its blood terror. World leaders scrambled. Emergency councils formed. Screens flickered with frantic debates. They have thousands of ships. One senator shouted. They have armies that conquered whole galaxies. They will erase us if we resist. Another whispered. But while politicians panicked, the military command rooms were strangely calm. In a bunker beneath the mountains, generals and admirals studied the alien message. Their faces were grim, but their eyes held something different. Not fear, something colder. General Marcus leaned over the table, his voice steady. They think we're afraid. Admiral Rios gave a low laugh. Let them think. It will make what comes next all the sweeter. A young officer looked at them, confused. Sir, the aliens just declared war on humanity. Shouldn't we prepare for defense? Marcus turned toward him, his voice heavy. Son, humanity has been preparing for this since the first time we looked at the stars. We knew this day would come, and when it did, we swore the galaxy would remember us. The room went quiet. Then the general gave the order. Release the fleet. Above Earth, the skies split open. From hidden docks in orbit, vast ships emerged. Black steel giants, silent and sharp, moving like predators. Their names were whispered in fear and war machines from Earth's darkest age, hidden for centuries, but only a few left orbit. Not all, not yet. The rest stayed, cloaked, waiting. The message was clear. Humanity was not showing its hand. Not yet. Meanwhile, the galaxy outside Earth watched with curiosity. Dozens of alien civilizations tuned in as the Zereth Empire's threat spread across the stars. Many laughed. The humans are finished, one alien merchant told his crew. They are new to the stars. They have no empire, no power. Others shook their heads. Fools, they live on a death world. You cannot predict what comes from such places. But even they doubted that humanity could face the Zereth Empire's might. On Earth, ordinary people reacted in different ways. Some prayed, some cursed, some ran into the streets demanding peace. Children clung to their parents, asking if monsters were coming. Old veterans simply stared at the sky, silent, as if waiting for something they had always known would happen. In one city, a young man laughed bitterly. The aliens think they can scare us with words. They have no idea. Humanity only grows stronger when threatened. 3 days later, the Zereth sent their second message. This time, it was not just words. Screens lit up with a terrifying display, the destruction of another alien world. Cities burned, oceans boiled, billions of lives ended in seconds. The Commander smiled at the camera. This is your future, humans. 3 cycles from now, we arrive. Prepare your graves. The feed ended. Silence fell over Earth. People wept. Some rioted. Governments begged for negotiation. But deep under the mountains, in the war rooms, the generals smiled. They just made their final mistake, Admiral Rios said. They showed us how they fight. And now we will show them how we end wars. The day of the declaration became known as the warning. Not because aliens threatened Earth, but because humanity gave its own silent warning back. When the alien fleet arrived, they would not find prey. They would not find insects. They would not find fear. They would find the hunters of a death world, waiting in silence, and in the shadows of space, far from Earth. The first Titan fleet vanished into the void, moving to meet the enemy before the galaxy even realized the war had begun. The first strike the countdown began. 3 cycles had passed since the Zirith Empire declared war. Across the galaxy, everyone waited to see the destruction of Earth. Some aliens prepared to celebrate, others prepared to mourn. But all of them expected the same thing: humanity crushed in hours. The Zirith Armada moved like a storm through space. 10,000 warships, massive carriers, dreadnoughts the size of cities, swarms of fighters blackening the stars. Their ships glowed with red fire as they crossed into human territory. It was not just a fleet. It was the largest invasion force in recorded galactic history. And against this force, humanity showed nothing. No fleets, no defenses, no transmissions. The galaxy laughed. Humans are cowards. They hid in silence. They surrendered without a fight. But the Zirith commanders grew uneasy, because silence is never natural. Silence means a predator is near. The first human system they reached was empty. No warships, no colonies, not even a single transmission. Pathetic, the Zerath admiral sneered. They flee before us. He ordered his fleet deeper. They burned across the void, destroying abandoned stations and satellites, leaving fire in their wake. But they found no humans. Then came the second system. Same result: empty space, silent planets, no human resistance. Confusion spread among the alien crews. Soldiers asked questions they were not supposed to ask. Why do we not see them? Where is their fleet? Are they hiding? The admiral silenced them with threats. They cannot hide forever. Earth will burn. But still, doubt spread like poison. On the 4th day, as the Armada reached the 3rd human system, something changed. At the edge of the star's light, a single ship appeared, small, silent, alone. It did not move. It did not signal. It only waited. The alien admiral laughed. This is all they send. One ship against thousands. He ordered it destroyed. Missiles, beams, plasma, fire, an entire wall of destruction raced toward the lone vessel. And then the human ship laughed. Across every channel. A human voice echoed. Calm, cold, certain. You should not have come. What happened next was impossible. The single ship moved faster than thought. In a blink, it cut through the formation. Weapons no alien had ever seen unleashed storms of energy. Shields collapsed. Armor cracked. Entire cruisers split in half before they could fire again. In seconds, dozens of ships were gone. The human vessel did not dodge, it danced. Every shot it fired was perfect. Every movement was death. The Zereth Armada panicked. They unleashed everything, but nothing touched the human ship. "It is not possible," one captain screamed. "It is just one ship." But one ship was enough. The galaxy, watching through hidden satellites, gasped in shock. The war they thought would end in minutes had just changed forever. The Zereth admiral roared in fury. "Send the dreadnoughts. Crush it." 5 colossal ships, each larger than a city, moved forward. Their guns lit the void with fire brighter than stars. The human vessels simply vanished. For one terrifying moment, it disappeared from every scanner, every eye. Silence filled the battlefield. Then, behind the dreadnoughts, the ship reappeared. One shot. One strike, and a dreadnought split apart, burning as it fell into the void. The second dreadnought fired wildly, but before its blast landed, it too was torn in two. The other 3 tried to flee. They never made it. 5 dreadnought ships that ruled the galaxy destroyed in less than a minute. The galaxy watching fell silent. Then something worse happened. The lone ship stopped moving. It turned slowly, deliberately, toward the rest of the Zerath fleet. Its voice returned. "We are not here to fight. We are here to end this." And then, from the darkness of space, shadows appeared. Dozens, hundreds, thousands, ships larger than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Black, silent, shaped like monsters born of nightmares. The hidden human fleet revealed itself, sliding from cloaked shadows. The Zereth thought humanity had no ships. The Zereth thought humanity was weak. The Zereth thought Earth would burn. But now they realized the truth. They were not the hunters. They were the prey. The first strike of the war ended before it truly began. When the smoke cleared, thousands of Zereth ships were gone. Human losses, none. The galaxy trembled. Civilizations whispered. For the first time, they did not laugh at humanity. They feared them, and as the human fleet vanished back into the shadows, leaving only wreckage behind, a single message was broadcast across the stars. This war is over before it begins. The unseen power of the galaxy was no longer laughing. Every civilization that had mocked humanity now sat in silence, staring at the wreckage of the Zereth fleet. Thousands of warships gone in hours. 5 dreadnoughts ripped apart like toys, and all of it by one ship. And then by the sudden rise of an entire hidden fleet, the news spread like fire. Humans destroyed them. The Zereth were crushed. It cannot be real. It must be lies. But it was real. Too many eyes had seen it. Too many signals carried the proof. The Zereth Empire, proud rulers of half the galaxy, had suffered their first defeat in centuries, and still they refused to believe it. In their capital world, the Zereth Council gathered. "This is impossible," one commander growled. "Humans are nothing. Their planet is a grave of storms. They are savages. They are savages who destroyed your fleet," another spat. Voices clashed like weapons. Pride fought against fear. At last, the Emperor spoke. His voice was sharp and cruel. "They got lucky. That is all. We will send more. We will send everything." The others bowed. They had no choice. But in the eyes of many, there was doubt. A fear that even they could not hide. Meanwhile, deep in human space, the war rooms of Earth were calm. Admirals sat around the table, their expressions cold. General Marcus stood at the center, staring at the star maps. "The aliens think we showed them our power," he said quietly. "But we did not," Admiral Rios replied. "We only showed them the shadow of it." The officers around the table looked uneasy. How much do we reveal? One asked. If we show them everything, the galaxy will tremble. But if we keep hiding, the Empire may keep attacking. General, Marcus smiled faintly. Let them keep attacking. The more they send, the more they lose. And when the time is right, we will show them what true power means. On the battlefield, the second Zeroth armada arrived, even larger than the first. 50,000 ships, the galaxy held its breath. Surely now, the humans would fall. No one could stand against such force. The Zereth fleet advanced, filling human space with their fire. And then, once again, they found nothing, no fleets, no resistance, only silence. Until it came. This time, the human fleet did not strike from the shadows. They appeared all at once, surrounding the aliens from every angle. Massive black warships blotted out the stars. Their surfaces shimmered with strange energy, their weapons glowing with fire the galaxy had never known. And then humanity unleashed the Titans, colossal constructs, larger than moons, forged in secret. Each one bristled with weapons that tore through reality itself. Their presence was like a nightmare machines that looked alive, with holes that twisted like they were breathing. The galaxy watching did not know what they were. Were they ships? Were they living? Were they demons pulled from Earth's death world past? The Zereth did not care what they were. They only knew fear. The battle was not a battle, it was slaughter. Human titans moved like predators, cutting through fleets as if they were made of paper. Weapons ripped through space itself, bending and breaking the laws of war. Zereth ships exploded in waves of fire, their formations shattered instantly. The Empire's admirals shouted, screamed, begged their fleets to fight harder. But nothing worked. One Titan fired a single B-man, entire wing of battleships vanished in silence. Another unleashed a storm that tore through shields and armor as if they never existed. The second armada lasted less than an hour. 50,000 ships, reduced to wreckage, drifting in the void. Human losses, minimal. The galaxy trembled, for the first time in living memory. An empire had met a force stronger than itself, and worse. Humanity had still not revealed its true strength, because in the deep dark, hidden even from the galaxy's spies, other weapons waited. Weapons older, weapons deadlier, weapons humanity promised never to use again until now, back on Earth. People watched the news in shock. At first, there was fear, then disbelief, then something else, something that had not existed in generations. Pride. For centuries, humanity had been mocked, called weak, called primitive, called fragile. Now, the galaxy whispered their name with fear. Humans, one alien envoy muttered, staring at the broadcasts. They are not like us. They are not like anyone. He was right. Humanity was different. Born on a death world, forged in endless struggle, carrying pain in their bones and fire in their hearts. The Zereth thought they declared war on an enemy, but they had awakened something far worse. When the smoke of the second battle cleared, a single human message spread across the stars. You declared war. You will not survive it. The galaxy listened in silence. Even the bravest species dared not laugh now, for they knew this was only the beginning. The unseen power of humanity was only just awakening, and the Empire had no idea what waited for them next. Asterisk. The Empire falls. The second Zereth armada had been erased. 50,000 ships gone. Hundreds of thousands of lives lost in fire. The wreckage floated like a graveyard across the stars. And still, Humanity stood untouched. For the first time in living memory, the galaxy saw the mighty Zerath Empire stumble, and stumble became collapse. In the capital world of the Empire, the council chamber was chaos. This cannot be happening. One minister screamed. 2 armadas destroyed. 2 impossible. The humans, the Emperor's voice silenced them all. They will not win. We are Zeruth. We rule the galaxy. If fleets cannot crush them, then we will burn their worlds. His command spread like thunder. Every remaining fleet was mobilized. Soldiers were forced into ships by the millions. Planetary governors were ordered to give everything ships, weapons, lives for one purpose: the destruction of Earth. The galaxy trembled as the largest war machine in history rose again. But fear spread faster than orders. For the first time, whispers moved through the Empire's people. What if the Emperor is wrong? What if humans cannot be defeated? Meanwhile, humanity did not wait. General Marcus stood in the command chamber, his eyes on the star map glowing before him. They will strike Earth next, an admiral said. Marcus shook his head. No, they will try, but they will fail. Because before they touch Earth, we will strike at the heart of their empire. The room fell silent. You mean their capital? Marcus nodded. We let them chase shadows. We let them think we hide. But now we will show them that no fortress, no throne, no emperor is safe. The human fleet moved like ghosts. Titans glided silently through dark space, their massive forms casting shadows across starlight. Smaller ships darted ahead, invisible. 2 scanners, erasing defenses before alarms could even ring. The galaxy watched in disbelief. No one had ever dared attack the Zerath capital. Not in 1,000 years. Not in 10,000. The thought itself was madness, and yet humanity did it. The strike began with silence. On the capital's skies, citizens looked up and saw stars vanish, swallowed by black ships. Titans appeared above the world like gods of war. Their weapons hummed with restrained energy. The Emperor's fleet scrambled. Thousands of ships launched from planetary docks, rushing into the sky, but they were too late. With one command, humanity unleashed its wrath. The sky burned, human weapons tore apart. The defenses in minutes. Entire orbital rings collapsed in fire. Towers of defense shattered like glass. The planet's skies became storms of fire and lightning. The people of the capital screamed, running through streets as shockwaves shook the ground. Inside the imperial palace, the emperor roared, "Fight them, destroy them. They cannot take our world." But even he began to realize the truth. His empire was falling. The battle above the capital lasted less than an hour. The human titans unleashed a final strike. A beam of energy that split the night in 2. The last of the Zerath fleets shattered. Their great defenders were no more. And then the human fleet descended. Dropships pierced the clouds. Soldiers, armored and silent, stormed the planet. They moved like shadows, every strike precise, every move unstoppable. The Zerath people, once proud, once untouchable, were brought to their knees in the palace throne room. The emperor sat in silence as the doors burst open. Human soldiers entered, weapons aimed, armor glowing with pale light, and behind them General Marcus himself stepped forward. The emperor rose, his voice shaking with rage. "You dare stand before me? I am the ruler of half the galaxy." Marcus looked at him calmly. "Not anymore." The emperor raised his blade, roaring in defiance. But he never touched Marcus. One strike from a soldier ended his reign. The emperor of the Zereth Empire fell, and with him, his empire crumbled. Across the galaxy, news spread faster than light. The emperor is dead. The capital has fallen. Humanity has broken. The empire, civilizations that once feared the Zereth, now cheered in secret. Others prepared to kneel to humanity, and many whispered the same words. The galaxy has a new power. But humanity did not celebrate in the war chambers of Earth. Marcus spoke to his generals. The empire is broken, one said. The war is over. Marcus shook his head. No, the war has only just begun. Because now the galaxy must decide, will it bow to humanity or will it resist? The room was silent. The choice was clear. Humanity had crushed an empire. But to keep the galaxy safe, to keep Earth free, they would have to do something even greater. They would have to rule. The empire had fallen, but the true war was only beginning. A new order. The emperor was dead. The Zereth Empire was no more. For centuries, the galaxy had bowed before their throne. Now, the throne lay empty, and the once great capital burned under human control. But even in victory, humanity stood at a crossroads. Would they return home and let the galaxy rebuild in chaos? Or would they rise and take the place of the fallen empire? General Marcus stared at the map of the stars. The empire's territories stretched across half the galaxy, now leaderless and fractured. Dozens of alien races sent desperate messages. Help us, protect us, take control before another tyrant rises. In every corner of the galaxy, power was shifting. The Zereth's enemies were rising, fighting for scraps. Warlords began to seize systems. Pirate fleets swarmed abandoned worlds. And through it all, the name human carried both hope and fear. The Council of Earth gathered in silence. Admiral Rios broke it first. We cannot rule the galaxy. Our people are not ready for empire. Another officer shook his head. If we leave, chaos will destroy everything. Billions will die, and worse, another empire will rise. Stronger, crueler. The Zeroth will look merciful compared to what comes. Next. Marcus listened, his face hard. Humanity did not ask for this, he said. We did not start this war, but now we are in it, and the galaxy will not wait. Either we lead, or we will be hunted until we fall. On the broken capital of the Zereth, humanity began its work. Soldiers restored order in the streets. Food was delivered to starving citizens. Medical teams treated the wounded, both human and alien. For the first time, the people of the empire looked at conquerors and did not see monsters. They saw something different. A soldier shared his water with a crying child. A medic worked for hours on a Zereth elder who had once sworn to kill him. The galaxy had expected humans to enslave. Instead, they helped. Whispers spread through the ruins. Humans are not like the Zereth. Perhaps they can be trusted. But with trust came fear. Warlords began to rise against human rule. On distant systems, fleets challenged Earth's new power. Small rebellions struck supply lines. In one sector, an entire planet declared independence, shouting, "We will never kneel to humans." They lasted a week. A single human titan arrived. One shot erased their defenses. No ground invasion followed, just a message broadcast to every corner of the galaxy. We do not seek slaves. We do not seek war. But if you challenge humanity, you will not survive. The message was simple. The message was clear, and the galaxy listened. But ruling was not only about fear. Human diplomats met with alien leaders. Treaties were signed. Councils formed. For the first time, voices from dozens of species spoke together without the shadow of the XER. ATH, some accepted human leadership eagerly. Others bowed because they had no choice. A few still resisted, whispering in secret. General Marcus watched it all unfold and wondered if Earth had unleashed something it could not control. Because every day, humanity grew stronger. Every day, more systems joined under their banner. And every day, the galaxy became more dependent on human power in the shadows of deep space. Something stirred. Ancient signals flickered awake. Old enemies of the Zereth, hidden for millennia, watched the rise of Earth with cold eyes. They crushed the Empire, one voice said. They will come for us next, another hissed. Then we will strike first. The galaxy was not at peace. It was only waiting for the next storm. On Earth, people celebrated. Fireworks lit the skies. Children danced in the streets. Humanity had one but in the command chambers. Marcus stood silent, watching the stars. One officer asked, "Do you regret it? Becoming what we fought against?" Marcus shook his head. "No, the Zereth ruled through fear. We will rule through strength and choice. But make no mistake, rule, we must. Because if humanity does not lead, someone else will. And the galaxy cannot afford that again." His words carried weight. They were not spoken to one man or one council, but to history itself. The galaxy had changed forever. The old empire was gone. A new order had risen, and at its heart stood humanity once mocked, once underestimated. Now the most powerful force in the stars. The galaxy would never laugh at Earth again. Not now, not ever.